In life, you get what you pay for. So there's a price tag. I'll answer all your questions, contingent on some hefty price. People would literally give away everything they own to get answers to their questions. Everything. A person would sell his shirt off his back to get an answer to a question. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes to Moshe Rabbeinu and he says, let me give you the answer. Comes to Baal Shem Tov and says an amazing thing. All these years, the poor man is thinking to himself, why? Why does my neighbor get to learn? All I want to do is learn. It's not like I want to waste my time doing other things. And I don't. And all those years, the wealthy man's thinking to himself, what's he worth? Even a page of Gemara he doesn't open up. Vahi Hayom, they're standing in front of Beit Din Shel Mala and they get all their answers. And over there it's for free. It doesn't cost any money. And here's how it goes, the Baal Shem Tov said. Because Baruch Hu comes to the wealthy man and he tells him, no, how was your life? And he says, it was amazing, couldn't be better. So what'd you do with it? So I did everything right. God tells him, you sure? He says, positive. He said, what'd you do right? He said, every morning I woke up, 6:30 in the morning, I got ready, I went to the mikveh, holy man, 7 o'clock I was already in shul, prayed shacharit, went home, had breakfast with my wife and kids, sent the kids off, told them goodbye to my wife, went to the synagogue. God, you blessed me with wealth. I wasn't going to waste my time continuing to work. Study Torah all day. 6 in the evening, I would come home, have dinner, spend time with the family. 8 o'clock at night, back in synagogue. 10 o'clock, came home, went to sleep. God said, that's what you did your whole life? My whole life! Never missed a day. Impressive. Olam haba. You're a good man. The Yetzer Hara comes up. He says, God, wait a minute. It's not that simple. How much effort did it take for him to learn? He had nothing better to do with himself. What was he going to do exactly? Waste his day? Play Pokemon? What was he going to do? What was he going to do? If you want to understand the level of intellect of 2017, Pokemon. Yeah. Unreal. I remember when Facebook came out. This is why my agenda, my whole life was anti-Facebook. Maybe a week after, 10 days after. I was in Frankfurt Airport in Lufthansa's lounge, waiting for a flight to come back to the United States. And I saw a gentleman who I did not know who he was. But he was definitely dressed to perfection. It was very obvious from a distance that it was all designer clothes and above. Perfectly fitted, sitting on not one, but 2 computers, simultaneously, typing like a lunatic. By his look, he looked like a German banker. And it was still, the flight was 5:05 p.m. I even remember the time of the flight. That's what an impact it had. I had thousands of flights since then, literally. And I was assuming, right, the market closed 4:30. Maybe even trades overseas markets and whatever. He's probably trading. I have a passion for trading, so I figured I'd like to become acquainted with him. So I was looking for the opportunity, but there was no opportunity because he was so preoccupied in what he was doing. Now, I wasn't going to look at what he's doing. That's already Gnevat Dat. It's sin al pi halacha. I don't know if you know that, but if you're sitting in a car together with a friend, I don't care how good of a friend he is, and I don't care if it's your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife or anything else of the sort, and they take out their phone and they're messaging somebody, and you look at what they're messaging, al pi halacha, you're a thief. Yeah, you're a thief. Just like somebody who robbed a bank. It's no difference. And just the opposite, if you robbed the bank, you could actually return the money. This you can never return. Gnevat Dat. You know, it's none of your business. It's none of your business. I don't know, in Shemayim, I'm not sure. It is none of your business. We have to respect people's privacy. And one who does not respect somebody else's privacy has no value for life. Because if you value somebody else's life, you value their privacy, because that's the essence of life. If somebody was 5 minutes before being born, and God came to them and said, you can be born to the world, no problem, I'll even make you a wealthy man. But there are 2 contingencies. You can only live in public places, you'll never have closed doors, and you won't be able to have clothes. Would any sane person say, okay, I want to come down to the world? Say, God, leave me here, it's fine, everything's okay. Because privacy is the foundation of life. And stealing somebody's privacy is stealing it all. Some parents think they have the permission to pry on their kids. What gave you the right? Where's the ethical value? What are you teaching the child at that point? Besides the fact that you don't trust him, so trust me, he'll give you a reason not to trust him one day. And that you don't respect him at all, so he won't respect you back, because that's the way life works. What gave you the right? Nobody thinks about it. And yes, as children, it's okay to understand that we're entitled to our privacy. And I know so many people think, but I have to keep an eye on what my kids are doing. And I say, if you got to the point that you have to keep an eye on what your kids are doing, you're already too late in the game. Let's try that again. If you got to the point that you have to keep an eye on what they're doing, too late in the game. Kids lost. Maybe a lot of Tehillim and a lot of tears will bring him back one day. Keep an eye on what? Your kid should love you so much that is not even a choice for him. It's a no-brainer to him. And if they don't love you that much, then where'd you go wrong? So instead of prying on him, pry on yourself. Maybe it's time to look at your messages, what you're doing wrong in life, where you're going wrong. I love when dads sit and watch late-night HBO shows and their 12-year-old comes into the room and he says, "This is not for you, go to sleep." Psychopath. What was that about? What does that mean it's not for you? Guess what, Dad? It's not for you either. There's one Shulchan Aruch, and it doesn't have any differentiation in age and what's appropriate for who and not. That Shulchan Aruch says that what's appropriate for an 8-year-old is appropriate for a 30-year-old and vice versa. Yeah, by us there's no rated PG this, PG that, R, the Shalom Nida. If it has to be rated, then it's rated non-Jewish. It's not for me. It's not for you. It's that simple. What does it need a rating for? The rating is that it's not going to impurify his soul. So the guy tells the Baal Shem Tov, the Baal Shem Tov says, the angel says, what hardship did this guy have in life? Nothing. What else was he going to do with himself? So this German man over there, I had no opportunity to speak to him. I wasn't going to pry on what he was doing. I wasn't going to stop him because it's also rude, a guy who I don't know. And I left the lounge to go board my flight, a little bit disappointed, because he actually looked like an interesting fellow. And I already fantasized in my mind that he's in a profession that I have a passion for and I want to get to know him, and it didn't work out. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu laughed at me. 1 minute after I boarded the plane, a nice, handsome German gentleman boards the plane, and it's that guy. And out of 8 seats in the cabin, he's sitting in the seat near me. 8 for 8 were full, he's sitting in the seat near me. And I turned to him and I said, "Sir, nice to meet you. Let me share with you a little personal experience. About an hour ago, we were both in the lounge. You were engrossed in a couple of computer screens, and I was engrossed in observing you because I was waiting for you to get done."
Honestly.
I say it as it is. That's my style. And because I would love to get to know you. He says, "Sure, I'm so sorry. That probably was rude of me. You walked in, I didn't say hello. I'm sorry, but I was very busy." I said, "I know, but, and then we start talking. I said, "Are you a banker by any chance?" He said, "Why would you think that?" I said, "I figured you're at the end of the market trading." And he tells me, "Trading? What?" I said, "I don't know anything about it. You know something about that? I would love to know." You just piqued my interest. So now the guy who's supposed to become my new mentor, I'm supposed to be his mentor already. How the tables turn. Keep your mouth shut. It's not worth having a big mouth. So I said, "What's your profession?" So he says, "I'm a brain surgeon." Brain surgeon? Impressive. I said, "Wow, you must be a devoted doctor." So he says, "Why do you think that? I actually like taking it very easy." So he says, "I don't know, I saw you so engrossed in your work while you were in the lounge. Normally people get to an airport lounge, they want to chill a little bit, they have a drink, they relax, they smoke a cigarette. In Europe you're allowed to, whatever, they want to just, enough. Now there's a long flight ahead, clean your head out a little bit." He says, "You think I was engrossed in my work? No way, I'm not crazy like that." So I said, "So if you don't mind me asking, what were you so engrossed in?" So he looks at me and he says, "You didn't hear a couple of weeks ago, whatever it was, I think it was about 10 days after, they came out with this thing called Facebook?" So I said, "Yeah, I heard about it. I don't know much about it, but I heard about it." He says, "I was chatting with 17 different people simultaneously on 2 computers." I said, "Guess what? Doctor, with all due respect, I think you need a brain surgeon." And you're the intelligent person? You're the cultured European? And now let's think how many messages that were worth nothing we responded to today. And how many chats that are a waste of time we belong to that send us nonsense and spam all day. And how many other hours went to all our profiles. Just today alone. And let's go back to how we started the value of 1 minute of life. How many lifetimes is that stealing every second of the day from the Jewish nation? How many tens of lifetimes? And you're all laughing because you know how true this is. I didn't exaggerate. So let me tell you an amazing moment that I had then. And I advise all of you that it's never too late and you should do it right now. Have this moment together with me. I made myself a promise. And the person that my vows mean most to is myself. Yeah, I love myself a lot. It's a problem. It's a sickness. It's a healthy sickness to have, by the way. But, yeah, I love myself a lot. I said, the thing you want to do most in life is to protect the ones you love most. And I love myself, so I'm going to protect myself. And this is the way the promise went. I will never own a Facebook profile in any way, shape, or form. Part 1. Part 2, I will never be in a room when somebody's using a Facebook profile, so I shouldn't have the temptation to see what it is and one day want to have one. Step 3, every time I marry somebody off, I will only do it on a condition that both him and his wife don't have Facebook profiles. Because if they do, then they'll be in divorce court anyway shortly, so it's a waste of time. And I don't like